Greetings, it's Eric Backer, naturopath from New Zealand, author of Candida Crusher and formulator of the Candida range of products. Thanks once again for checking out my video. I really appreciate all the feedback I'm getting from all my fans out there in YouTube land. Thank you so much. I'm getting some great emails. People are connecting up on Facebook. It's been absolutely fantastic. Well, I regularly get emails from questions from different people, and a few people now from America and New Zealand and Australia over the past several months, but probably a year in particular, have been asking me about mold and candida. And I'll just switch Skype off so I don't get buzzed. There we go. So, Eric, can you tell me about mold? And I'm a bit suspect I may have mold in my environment. Could it be causing my yeast infection? I'm going to go a little bit into that in a minute to explain how you can actually work out if your mold in your environment is causing a problem. And there's a very sneaky and easy way for you to determine that. And you'll think, oh, of course, it makes sense. So I wrote quite a big article on mold in your environment and candida in my book called Candida Crusher. You can also read more about this topic at yeastinfection.org. I'm sure that I've got a few mold articles. There's about 1,100 articles on that website now. So I'm going to read a bit out of my book here, then I'm going to sort of give you a bit of narration along with that. So an investigation in 2005, this is in New Zealand, but it will relate to your country as well, no doubt, if you live in the UK or if you live in Sweden or Denmark or North America or Canada, any of those countries. Anywhere particularly high up or low down on the globe, you're going to have a problem with mold, more so even than around the tropics. Especially mold like Stachybotrys, I think it's called, Stachybotritis or Stachybotrys, I think it's called. It's a particular black mold that we find a lot in buildings. So an investigation in 2005 revealed that New Zealand's growing leaky building problem was causing a large increase in dangerous mold in damp homes. Asbestos awareness started off very slowly, yet nobody really took the adverse health-related links seriously until many non-smokers associated with this industry started to develop serious lung problems like cancer and mesothelioma. So in fact, mold is actually called the new asbestos. The US government and asbestos industry have both been criticised for not acting quickly enough to inform the public of the dangers and to reduce public exposure. In the late 1970s, leaked court documents proved that asbestos industry officials knew plenty about the dangers of asbestos since the 1930s, in fact, and yet concealed it from the public. Now, many building companies, particularly when building compliances and codes were sloppy, I believe know about this problem too, but a lot of the compliances now have changed and the codes have been changed here in New Zealand and no doubt in your country. So things have tightened up quite a lot in the building industry, but many leaky buildings now that we have now could be still from sloppy practices from a long time ago, or from warehouse conversions, from older buildings that could be converted to new living spaces. So you need to be quite careful of these. Brand new homes built now by registered master builders are usually fantastic. They're made very well, they're made very sound. But there are still a lot of housing developments here in New Zealand, and no doubt in your country, that won't be fantastic, that will have been built by cowboys with poor compliance and very sloppy building codes. And these are particularly the things you've got to watch out for. Older homes, hastily built homes, homes built by cowboys and not registered professionals. So there are a lot of cowboys out there, people like me who don't know how to do any construction yet, play around with saws and hammers and think they know it all, but in fact we're quite useless. So I'm not going to give up my day job, by the way. I'm going to stick with natural medicine and leave the construction to the professionals. So what do we know about leaky buildings and mold? Do we really know enough about the potential dangers of mold and how many people are living in leaky or moldy environments? So the mold problem is caused by dampness that allows certain toxic varieties of mold to grow in buildings. And many countries have homes that are exposed to molds and damp conditions for many months of the year. Look in Canada, for example, it's wet quite often. We have the same here in New Zealand, especially in the South Island. We have a lot of rainfall. Ireland, England, lots of rainfall. Modern building companies utilising the latest building materials like to make buildings watertight, and this often comes at an expense of poor ventilation and airflow, as homes today are extensively insulated against cold and wet. Many plastics and styrene have been used in housing construction, which can potentially breed mold. And as I mentioned, this coupled with defective construction, particularly from houses since the 1970s, were built quite sloppy. It can make mold a serious health problem. The popular warehouse conversions, as I mentioned, so you need to be very careful. So ask yourself this question. If you go to somebody else's house, does that cough disappear or that tickle in your throat? You feel you can breathe better, because molds do create spores that float through the air and start attacking ear, nose and throat. So in your house, as opposed to going on vacation or somebody else's house, have you noticed a difference? Do you notice that you just feel more comfortable in someone else's living environment as opposed to your own? Pay particular attention to that, because that can be a red flag for mold or fungi floating in the air in your environment. It's a key thing that I've heard from people, that when they go away, they don't seem to have the allergies anymore, or the tickle in the ear or the throat, or the sneeze or the cough. Particularly people who spend a lot of time indoors or in certain rooms. So if you find that you get these kind of irritations and you can't work out why, and you've tried to work on your diet and exclude any potential causes from your diet, but you still have these issues, then try and work out if it's an environmental cause for this irritation that you get. Different rooms can cause different symptoms with people. Carefully check around the carpets and look around the ceilings. If you can, get into the roof space with a torch or under the house and have a good look for mold. There are telltale signs. Your symptoms may get worse. You may notice some black stuff, around the skirting boards or around the architraves, the window frames. These are all signs of mold problem in your environment, and you'd better do something about it, because mold can make you very sick indeed. It's been linked with autoimmune diseases, and many people have even died from serious mold exposure. So that's just a little bit of information for you on mold in your environment. Is it better when you're away? The symptoms better? Get worse when you're in your home? Are symptoms worse, in damp, humid times of the year when it's raining, perhaps, maybe winter or fall, or in winter, and it's better in summertime? Maybe you're spending more time outside. So carefully think about that, and that may really hold a clue for you to determine if your problems are really caused by mold in your environment. And of course, this is going to really aggravate an existing yeast infection. Thanks for tuning in.